What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to do a video covering a very popular topic in the Amazon KDP space, especially with new self-publishers, and that is high content versus low content. What should you do? What's better? What are the differences? So I'm going to cover all those things as well as what I think you should do moving forward to have the highest chance of success. So let's waste no time and get right into the video. So first things first, what is low content? So low content is anything along the lines of activity books, word searches, puzzle books for different audiences like seniors, kids, and that type of thing, and anything that falls under that kind of general category, as well as coloring books. So coloring books is also a popular low content style of book that people create. So those are the two main ones. In terms of things like journals, notebooks, that type of thing, I consider that more no content books. So that's actually a step below low content. So what is high content? So high content is a bit different. It's going to be basically an entire 150-page nonfiction book. This is normally going to be teaching somebody about something, things like raised bed gardening for beginners, balance exercises for seniors, a beginner's guide to the stock market, and that sort of thing. You're not normally going to be publishing in extremely technical topics, hence why we can create a book that we know nothing about. So just to quickly overview the process of high content, the low content process is very similar, just take out a few steps, but if you're wondering what the high content process is, it's a bit more intricate, and it starts out with, of course, finding your book topic or your keyword that you want to publish in. From there, you're actually going to be doing some research on that topic, finding out the type of book that people want. You're then going to create an outline of the book. So this is where the book is actually created. It's basically a point form version of the book. Chapter 1, what's in chapter 1, some resources to accompany, and you do that for the entire book. And then from there, you're going to actually find a ghostwriter to turn your book outline into a completed manuscript. While your book's getting written, you can work on things like your book cover, your book title, your description, and any other accessories necessary. Once your book comes back from the writer, you're going to get it formatted, get it ready to publish, and then assemble everything together, and then get it organized to launch your book. And then that's the final step, is actually launching it to Amazon. So that's just a quick overview of the high content process. If you were unsure, I do have a step-by-step course in the description or on my channel, just covering each individual step and how to do it effectively. So let's go over some pros and cons of each, starting with low content. The main pros to low content are going to be, it's a very low barrier to entry. You don't need to spend a bunch of time and effort and money to create books. You can quickly make some books and get them on Amazon very quickly, which also makes it easier to make lots of books. So we can have a lot of volume going out, make lots of different books and lots of different topics, see what works best, and it's a lot easier to do so. It's also cheaper than high content at the start. And the reason I say at the start is because in the long term, I personally don't think low content is cheaper than high content to get the same result. But if you're just starting out, you don't have much money, it's a great place to start to spend very little or even nothing to get some books on Amazon. It's also very beginner friendly, so it's less committing. You can easily make a book yourself very quickly, and you're not committing to an entire 150-page book that takes a couple months to make. So it's a lot better for beginners to just understand the process, which leads into another pro of low content publishing, which is it's a good place to start for beginners. It's just a good way to understand the Amazon KDP process, what it feels like to publish a book, what it feels like to find a keyword, to find a topic, to make a cover, and all that sort of stuff. So let's go into the cons of low content. So the main cons of low content are going to be, there's lots of competition. So because it's a lot easier to make books, there's a low barrier to entry, you're going to find that there's a lot of books. There's tons of people making hundreds of books every year, and it just leads to a lot of saturation. Not only that, but it also leads to a lot of low quality saturation, because now with the implementation of AI, people are just popping books out very quickly, not really focusing on the quality of them. So it's just going to be a ton of books that aren't very good. So another con of low content is your books are more likely to die off. The reason I say this is because a lot of the main evergreen topics in low content publishing are extremely saturated, and as a beginner, you're going to have a very tough time competing. So you're going to have to go and find those more trendy or new up and coming topics, coloring book themes, activity books. And what's going to happen is you're going to be more or less trend hopping and continuing to look for new trends. And you don't really know if those trends are going to be popular for years to come or if they're going to die off. So that's kind of what happens in low content a lot more. You're going to have to be a lot more active. You also need a lot of volume to make decent profits. So because the royalties on low content books are so much lower than high content, you're going to need a lot more books to have the same success. So it's also not as calculated compared to high content because of the keywords being more trends and you have to stay active, as well as the lower royalties. You're going to have to play more of the volume game and just get as many books out as you can to have the same result as, let's say, 1 or 2 high content books. So now let's go into the pros of high content. So the pros of high content start out with, of course, you make way higher royalties. So because your books are priced a lot higher than low content books, your royalties are a lot higher. 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 times more than a low content book. There's also less competition compared to low content. So because there's more of a barrier to entry to making a high content book, you can't just make it in a day. It has to get written. You have to make the outline. There's more of a process. You're not going to see as high competition as you will in low content. Another pro for high content books is they get better over time. So because you're being more intentional with creating a full entire book, you're hopefully publishing in a topic that is like finance, fitness, health, something that is going to be popular basically forever. Your books have the ability to grow, to get more reviews, to get better organic ranking, as well as grow with the demand of the topic and just continue to get better over time. Yes, this can also happen with low content books, but it's just not as frequent as it can happen with high content books. So another pro of high content books is it's of course more calculated. So it's a lot more slower paced. You're taking your time on each individual step, which if done properly, you can absolutely have success with your first book, which goes into the final pro of high content publishing, which is, in my opinion, it's easier to have fast success. If you're taking your time, you're getting help along the way, and you're ensuring that every step is done properly, you can absolutely have success with your very first high content book. I've seen it done. I actually just had a coaching call this morning with a client who I've done multiple calls with throughout their process of creating their first high content book. Now they're about 15 days into launch and it's absolutely crushing it. And based on how it's going, this is absolutely going to be a book that makes over $1,000 a month with a very low ad spend. So let's go into the cons of high content publishing. The first one being it's of course a lot more work. You're not just creating a simple activity book, you're having to create an entire 150-page book. It's just more of a process and more work to do. Yes, in the same amount of time, you're probably going to make 10 or 20 low content books, but it's just a bit different because you're committing to one specific book. It's also hypothetically more expensive. And the reason I say not really is because yes, at the beginning, it is more expensive to get into, but in the long term, to get the same result as low content publishing, I don't think it is, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So it's also more commitment to one book. So you have to be sure that you're doing everything right, like your keyword, your cover, your title, because you're spending a lot more time and money on one specific book. It does increase that risk factor. So you don't want to spend all that time and money just to publish a book and have nothing happen. Yes, that's okay. You can take what you learned and go to the next book. But of course, we want to have success with the very first book. So choosing your direction. So there's a few things to consider before you decide if you want to do low content or high content. The first one being is your budget, of course. How much money do you have to start out with? If you're coming into this with some good funds, you've saved up a few $1,000s and you just want to go straight into creating a legitimate Amazon KDP business, I definitely would steer you towards high content. But if you don't have much of a budget, then low content is going to be a better option just to start out with. So another thing to consider that people don't really talk about, and that is, what do you want to tell people about? You're inevitably doing this for a reason, to make some more money, and you're eventually going to talk to people about it, your friends, your family, and what are you going to be more excited to talk to them about? Because if you don't take pride in your business and you can't talk to people and be excited about it, the odds of your success are a lot lower because you're not going to put the same pride and the same attention into your business as you would otherwise if you were super proud of it. So another thing to ask yourself is, what do you want to get out of Amazon KDP? So if you just want to make a few $100 a month to cover some expenses, then yeah, maybe you're not going to fork out a bunch of time and money into high content books. Maybe you just want to make some free low content books over time, and hopefully they get you to a couple $100 a month. Just something to consider. And the final thing is, what inspires you more? So what are you excited to make? Do you want to just make a few activity books, some coloring books, and just pump out those? Or do you want to make some complete 30,000 word high content books in some topics that you're interested in? So those are a few things to consider before you pick which route you want to go in. So now let's actually get into what I think you should do and what I think warrants the highest chance of success. So what I think you should do starting out is start with a few low content books, 1 to 4, maybe even 10 plus. But what this is going to do is it's just going to make you comfortable. It's going to allow you to maybe even generate some income, hopefully. If not, that's okay too. But once you're comfortable, once you've generated some income, you can then move into high content publishing. So I think the end result for anyone who really wants to have a successful Amazon KDP business should be high content books. I think they're more stable. I think they're just better for the long term. And you get a lot more bang for your buck with what you're investing and what you're getting back. So those are some of the main reasons why I think high content books are the better way to go in the long term. But there's also 3 main things, which for me are just the deal breakers and just make high content publishing a no-brainer. The first one being the royalties. Like we already briefly mentioned, the royalties in high content publishing is just so much higher. So let's look at a few examples of that. So here's an Easter coloring book I found. It's making $14 a day in sales, which equals to about $19 a day in royalties. So this is a $7 book. It's a very standard price for a coloring book, just to make sure the example is realistic and I'm not just picking a book that's like $3. But comparing this to a high content book that's also making 14 sales a day, you're actually making $119 in royalty. And this is a $17 book, which is a very standard price for a high content book. So as you can see, you have to actually have 6 of these successful low content books to warrant the same results as one high content book. Having one successful book is hard enough, so having to have 6, it's quite a big difference. So the second thing being is the cost. Is low content publishing actually that much cheaper than high content? So let's say we have to make a low content book. We have to make the interior content, the formatting, the cover. Sometimes you can actually have this done in a package with low content books that do everything, but the average price you're going to see is about 40 to 60 bucks. So let's say we're paying 60 bucks to make a coloring book. And since we have to have 6 of them to have the same result as one high content book, we're going to be spending about 360 bucks. So this is also assuming that we have 100% success rate. Every book we have has these results. So we're actually going to more likely want to create maybe 12 books, maybe even more. So it's going to be closer to $700 plus to create all these books. So a high content book, you can get a decent high content book with a good cover done for $1,000. So I know what you're thinking as well, but what if it fails? Just like we have to make extra low content books, what if the high content book fails? Yes, there's always a risk factor in everything you do, but like I already talked about, if you take your time on each individual step, you're much more likely to have success with your first high content book. So it's just a risk that you have to be willing to take, but I promise you if done properly, you'll be fine. I know what else you're thinking, and that is that, hey, I can create low content books for free. Yes, you can, but I can promise you anybody who's having a lot of success with low content publishing are not making books for free. They're outsourcing them, they're outsourcing the interior, they're outsourcing the covers, they're creating high quality books and spending anywhere from $30 to $60 on them. So inevitably, you're going to have to spend some money. That's life. Anything in life, you have to be able to invest in it to get higher return. Otherwise, you're putting yourself at a massive competitive disadvantage to everybody else. So, in the third and one of the biggest reasons why I value high content publishing over low content publishing is the ad cost. So, this is another thing that a lot of people don't really talk about. And let's break it down. So, let's go back to our Wall Pilates book that's making $119 a day with 14 sales. So, if you find the average here, it's going to be about $8.50 royalties per book. So, going to the Easter coloring book, the $14 a day at $19, you're only making $1.35 per book. And where this matters is I actually went into my ads console and looked up the bid price for these main keywords for these books. So starting with Wall Pilates workouts for women, the lower end of the recommended bid, which is the cost per click, so every time somebody clicks on your book, this is what you spend, was 98 cents. But I also went to Easter coloring book for kids, and that was 56 cents. So you're looking at only a 1.75 times difference in what you're actually spending to advertise this book. Because low content is so much more saturated, you're still going to have these higher bid prices. Yes, there's going to be some scenarios where it's going to be lower, of course. Just like in the high content book, you're going to have scenarios that it's higher, that it's lower as well. But you're still going to see this higher bid price with low content publishing a lot of the time. And why this is very important to consider is if you go back to the royalties, there's actually a 6.5 times difference in terms of what you're actually making per book, which is massive. Your bid price for what you're spending on ads is only 1.75 times difference, but there's a 6.5 times in the actual royalties you're making. So the moral of this is that one successful low content book isn't going to get you anywhere. Yes, you might get lucky and one of your books might blow up, but we're not going to bank on that. You have to have 10 plus successful low content books to have the same result as one high content book. Not only do you have to have 10 low content books that are successful, but you have to have 10 sets of ads running for these 10 books that are all going to be at a high bid price compared to how much actual royalties that you're making. So to get the same result in high content and low content, you're going to have a lot of low content books, as well as you're going to be spending a lot more on ads for what you're making back. So I'm not saying that low content publishing is bad. I just wanted to shed some light on the idea that low content publishing is cheaper than high content publishing, because it's really not. To get the same result in the long term, you're going to be spending about the same amount of money. So that's why, depending on your situation, don't pick one or the other because of price. Because yes, you're spending more on high content books, but you're also getting back a lot more, especially if you do it properly, rather than low content publishing where the books are cheaper to make, but you're having to make a lot more of them to get the same result. So this is just an important point that people should consider when deciding what type of books they want to publish. So my conclusion for low content and high content publishing is low content is more of a volume game. You need a lot of successful books to make some decent royalties, and you have to stay active. It's going to be more trend based, and you're going to have to publish a lot of books continually to grow out your brand. With high content publishing, it's slower paced. You're being more intentional with each individual step in each individual book. It ends up being not more expensive in the long term because you're making less books and you're getting a higher return on those books. And you only need a couple of books to do well because there's so much profit. You only need 1, 2, 3 books to make a couple $1,000s a month. It's not a lot. So just consider these factors when deciding if you want to publish in low content or high content. So why people fail with Amazon KDP publishing is they're going to publish their book and maybe the keyword has no demand, or they can't compete with the competition that's there. Or even little things like their title isn't targeting the topic well enough, their cover is off, or their book just misses the mark. There's always a reason why your book doesn't succeed. So the most important thing with whatever avenue you pick is making sure that you're actually spending enough time and nailing every part of the process. So this is one of the hardest things to do, and that's exactly why I started my new community, Publisher Mastery Academy. It's just a simple space where you can go ask questions, get validation for each individual step, and make sure you're on the right track, as well as a bunch of helpful resources to help you along the way that's being updated every single month, with more videos, more tools, more templates, and more things that just make your publishing journey easier. So there's a link in the description and you can go and check out inside. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.